Right, today we're looking at a resonant crystal factory shuffle build, which is a way that we can produce infinite epic enchanting crystals really early in Dragonflight, well before the market gets flooded with these. Epic enchanting materials are always stupidly rare at the start of any WoW expansion. This is because the only ones we usually get until the raid and Mythic Plus releases are from Mythic dungeons, which are on a weekly lockout, and most people need the loot that drops. In Dragonflight, these could be even rarer than usual because epic drops have been taken out of some content, and additionally in Shadowlands, every character got a free epic crystal in Bastion, which really helped keep the market supplied. Even with that supply in Shadowlands, prices of purple enchanting crystals were over 10,000 gold each on most servers, and up to 25 to 30,000 gold on some. The region-wide auctionality for commodities is probably going to make this even worse, with a lot of the mega goblins will look to dominate this market, so being able to produce infinite of these crystals on your own could be really helpful if you're an enchanter, or really profitable if you just want to sell them. This build is working on disenchanting specialisation that I did a video on and it's already been released, but we are taking it a little bit further. That video was done from the perspective of passive gold making throughout all of Dragonflight. This video is going to be a shuffle, so that is turning one thing into something else with a little bit of work. To set up this build we need 10 points in Insight of Blue, and then 40 points into Draconic Disenchantment. Once we have 40 points in Draconic Disenchantment, we learn the passive ability, Learn to better disenchant weapons, gaining a small chance to acquire additional resonant crystals when disenchanting them. Basically, now whenever we disenchant a weapon, we have a chance of getting a resonant crystal. We're going to mass produce weapons to disenchant, and using this method you can make as many resonant crystals as you like. First I tried this using enchanting and mass crafting enchanted Rife Bark wands to disenchant. These require 6 chromatic dust and 2 Rife Bark to make. Now I did get quite a lot of chromatic dust from disenchanting these, so these actually end up effectively costing a lot less than this. The Rife Bark is a herb, it's one of the rarer herbs, but at least we only need it in small quantities. I disenchanted hundreds of these to try and figure out what the approximate drop rate was, and it seemed to be around 1 in 33 you get a resonant crystal. What I then did was try to figure out the approximate cost would be to us per resonant crystal from mass producing and disenchanting enchanted Rife Bark wands. From my data it worked out to be approximately 66 Rife Bark and 126 chromatic dust per resonant crystal. The amount of chromatic dust we're using should be 3 times the Rife Bark, but this takes into account the fact that you're going to get around a third of the chromatic dust that you spend back when you disenchant. Now, as well as the resonant crystal, we also get 40 vibrant shards in the process of doing this. Overall, paying 66 Rife Bark and 126 chromatic dust for 40 vibrant shards and a resonant crystal seems like a pretty awesome deal. I imagine it's going to be really profitable unless someone finds another way to mass produce these until the market starts to get flooded with these crystals when the raid releases. Next, I tried pairing this with blacksmithing and mass producing various weapons to see how that turned out. I used on average 288 primal flux, 576 severite ore, 288 draconium ore to get 123 chromatic dust, 57 vibrant shards and 1 resonant crystal. This seems like it's definitely going to be the more expensive method of doing this. The only way you could potentially need to do it this way is if the price of chromatic dust is just silly high. Even if the price of dust was silly high, it's probably going to be more viable to make cheap armour to disenchant for dust than to use this method, but at least we know that now anyway. That of course could be done with any of the armour crafting professions. Now, in order to set this build up, you need 50 enchanting knowledge points. I've linked my enchanting leveling guide at the end of this video. If you follow that, then it's going to get you the most possible knowledge points so that you can get started on this build as soon as possible. From there you're going to need to do profession quests and everything else to get your knowledge points. The main issue with this build is that you need to get it unlocked as soon as possible. If you don't get it unlocked until the raid comes out, then it's not going to be anywhere near as profitable. 50 knowledge points is a lot, but if you do everything, then it's definitely possible. Thanks for watching guys, and see you next time.